Welcome you guys, we are back with another video and back to Genshin Impact. No, it's been a minute. So, today we are going to do my favorite character in the freaking Genshin Impact game, and that's Kazuha. Man, I freaking love this character. He's absolutely my #1 favorite character next to Raiden Shogun, which is my #2. Man, he's just such a cool character, man. I love playing with him. This character actually is making me actually love playing Genshin Impact. I can do Spiral Abyss with him, and he's just a cool freaking character. So today we're going to be hitting up his story mode, seeing what that's all about. Finally, he has a story mode available that I can play. Also, we're going to be doing doing a couple of wishes before his banner goes away. His banner goes away in 2 days. I hope you guys had a chance to get him and level him up and stuff like that. I personally, as soon as I got him, he's level 90 now. I made sure I wanted to get him level 90 and get him a pretty strong weapon. I didn't get his 5-star weapon. I wasn't gonna go for that, but I did give him a pretty strong weapon. I didn't refine it or anything, but he has the Favonius sword. So and it's pretty good on him, man. Especially I able to get a lot of energy recharge, and I can just murk shit with his special, his elemental burst. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and unlock this this story quest. Boop, 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 boop. Kazuha story quest unlocked. Man, I'm super excited for this, you guys. I hope you are excited for it as I am. Ready to see what this is all about. Alright, where are his quests? I mean, y'all see, I got a lot of fucking quests. A lot of fucking quests I need to do. I still need to do the damn whatchamacallits, man. Please don't have me going into the middle of the ocean. Alright, let's go. Kazuha, man. We've already seen like little bits of his clan's story beats when he did the event, which was weird because you would think they would have that in a main story quest. But I wonder if that sword that they were talking about will be in this quest.
So many things have happened since then. Yeah, we've definitely made some progress on our journey. So, where should we go today? Huh? What's that?
Huh?
Doesn't want to talk, huh? Alright, let's convince him to calm down a little.
Oh man. Oh, where you go?
Illusion shattered.
Oh, okay.
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all.
What is that demon dark sword?
Mistaking you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right person before you go attacking them. No, wait. Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking them out of the blue. It's dangerous.
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animo vision. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our faces, and he didn't even apologize. Seems like a real nutcase. Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling him anything about Kazuha.
Couldn't agree more.
Paimon has a feeling, though, that even if this guy gets to challenge Kazuha to a duel, he won't be able to beat him.
I don't think so either.
Just to be on the safe side, we should go find Kazuha right away and tell him to watch his back.
For sure, my nigga.
What kind of hunch? connection? You mean beyond already know?
Can't say for sure.
Yeah, maybe a little. But then again, most people look pretty much the... Anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any danger. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment.
A strange and friendless road. At Rito? I'm at Rito. Oh, okay, here we go.
Follow the wind.
So I'm gonna be talking to myself?
Hello? Do you know where Kazuha is?
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha. If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beidou had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did?
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryou Commission. They said they had something important to discuss with him. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you! Guess we'll go pay a visit to the Tenryou Commission.
Alright then. I'll just stay here and carry on trying to fend off the crowd.
Interesting. I love this song.
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaedahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaedahara name. Regarding the history of the Kaedahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed?
Yep, kind of.
In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. The Kaedahara clan belonged to this class, but there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaedahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great turmoil. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaedahara clans was neither proper nor just. Considering Mr. Kaedahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but also receive recompense for the excessive punishment borne by his clan in the past. In the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters. We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun and the However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice. With the Kaedahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaedaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end. You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City, with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support of the Shogunate.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaedahara, and the art of blade making for which it stood. I do have a responsibility to restore their honor.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost wondered whether there was another Kaedahara Kazuha in town.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaedahara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaedahara Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Using a delusion turns you old and frail, and Kazuha still looks fine.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more inconceivable notion still.
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, no matter whether it brings suspicion or stardom my way. But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this situation will blow over more quickly.
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
Please allow me some time to consider. In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then, what brings the two of you here?
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most important thing!
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that each can be fairly assessed. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedahara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity you speak of was coincidence alone.
All the more reason to watch your back! This guy was a serious nutcase.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious injury. Or
in that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter. And I will also need some time to consider your offer. I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked him, then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town.
Yeah, let's go here.
Let's see what Ryuji has to say. there! We'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him? For Kaidahara Kazuha, we mean.
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaidehara. I've heard a lot about you. It is an honor to finally meet.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can offer.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think. I can't seem to recall anything of immediate interest. Mr. Kaidehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of people looking for him. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaidehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Sangha would have snapped them up in an instant.
Millions? Of mora? Whoa! Oh, wait, even at that price?
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other people's day-to-day life just for the sake of it. Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me that a complete stranger is looking for Mr. Kaidehara. But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents recently that stand out as particularly unusual? The Tenryou Commission had very few leads. I thought you might have some information from different sources.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the most trivial events that manage to escape their attention. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryou Commission would absolutely get involved.
That does make sense. Uh-oh. Looks like the trail's already run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now. I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved that you were the one he targeted. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me.
Damn!
For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Kazuha said, I would wipe them out if it came from me.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man is what drove you to fearlessly raise your blade against the almighty Shogun.
You flatter me. Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
I have that cutscene too.
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to gather whatever leads I can for you. Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve an attack, though. Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During times like this, the more information we have, the better.
All right, then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same time. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma.
Amenoma? Now there's a familiar name.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma Smithy. 2 grown men going missing at the same time. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one you are looking for.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he may wish to attack me.
Sure, can't hurt. We never know what we might find out along the way.
Thank you, Ryuichi. We'll start by making some inquiries at the Amenoma Smithy.
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation. I'll get moving shortly myself.
I like how these stories are like usually like mysteries. It makes them interesting. Alright.
Ah, if it isn't Kazuha Kazuha. What?
Huh? You two know each other?
Yes, the Kaedahara and Amenoma clans were both members of the RAIDEN Gokade. Historically, there have always been deep links between the two clans. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects. Yes, you may recall the story of the RAIDEN Gokaden from the Iridori Festival.
Though all bladesmiths trace their craft back to the same source, over time, each of us has arrived at a different blade-making philosophy, spawning the development of different branches of the same art. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaedahara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedahara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive and well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryo Commission, but he didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for—
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse. Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so—
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my— He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never—
Is that so?
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear with neither farewell. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him.
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
It's definitely got something to do with that creepy ass sword. Let's see. Oh, wait. Where are they? I might as well teleport. I'm glad they got like a little glowy guy there because I'm always running somewhere.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon us. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Whoa!
Damn.
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly... His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Ame no Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale,
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price, but my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a feud.
Maybe he was feeling the
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home, now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's gotten... Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amenoma Yuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not... This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded. Though its exact role, do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was thinking that... Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
An interesting explanation. I was also considering this possibility. Amenoma Yuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed some problematic details about Mr. Nagato's collectibles. Maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. Either way, after arguing about it, the two men agreed to hide the truth of this matter. They thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryou Commission began investigating and uncovered some incriminating details, so they fled to protect their secrets. But it's a far-fetched theory. I can't imagine how they would have been able to reach an agreement. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there? Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can
The only connection is the sword,
Mr.
man.
Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence. Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around...
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Tatarigami. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant.
So it's an
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place, but the residue it left behind still hasn't dissipated completely. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself alone.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will. Their interests become fanatical obsession. Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even—
So what should we do now? Go down—
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this.
Damn, Kazuha the beast. He like, man, I got this.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything.
Huh,
it looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to—
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear much misfortune. Yes, let's go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you too.
Elemental sight.
Time to go. From this point, the trail appears to split into two. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here, and seems to be dissipating slowly. Quite possible.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
As one with wind and cloud! Inazuma shines eternal!
It's...
Ugh! Look at this red stuff!
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone dry. Well, let's take...
I was wounded by Aniyama Yuya. He took my most precious blade. I chased him, but could not catch him. I lay down here to rest on account of exhaustion. I thought that stomach kept going bleeding, but it seems that some strange power has sustained me. So my blade. Sell it to him. He even burned my warehouse down. Can't conscious, so all I can do is distract from the pain that's right. Sure, Yuichi and Yuichi. Stuck on. Huh. Okay.
According to this letter, a conflict arose because Aminoma Yuya wanted to seize a blade belonging. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here.
So...
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and I'm I'm afraid he may no longer be with us. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for us to find here. Yes, right now we need to if Ame no Mayuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him...
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power. All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected. It seems that now I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explains the series of events leading to the two men's disappearance, but also...
Wait! You figured it out? So
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. I will only be able to confirm myself. On with the search. We must stay vigilant. At any point now, we may... He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here? Is there anything...
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here.
Show yourself! It's no use hiding anymore.
Yeah.
Kaedehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before! What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Mayuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Ame no Mayuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa, whoa! Surely you...
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect it. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, and more, or rather, as a means to occupy Ame no Mayuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. Many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he played as a descendant of the Kaedehara clan. You should be able to guess our greatest...
So the sword possessed?
I presume it
How does it have a spirit?
The RAIDEN Gokaten.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, he was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time, and sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, he not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with in her conceit. The Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of...
So... swords can become...
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects, an ordinary. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way. I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin art.
So Ame no Mayuya, tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve. When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to...
You're awful.
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma Yuya handed himself. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you. And by Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to now. Give your body over to me!
So he wants Kazuha's body. That's crazy.
Stabilize!
Get out of here!
You shall rewrite history!
Shine down!
Solidify!
One with nature.
Give it to me!
Oh, it's not my Kazuha, so his energy is not going up.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
The wind knows me.
Illusion shattered!
Stabilize! Rewrite history! Submit to me! Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too!
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost.
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit. Now, even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will. The end result is the same. I will end this wretch's life before... And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. By any means necessary, and any medium available,
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenoma Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin art's secrets. The little that in that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade, then now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host without...
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Amenoma Yuya and make your escape.
What of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal.
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life. Even if you were to sever that divine light, is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired? Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art, but even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded you as mere tools to do your bidding. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony between a blade and its bearer?
Silence, you blabbering fool! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and the very purpose for which I was brought into being. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly. But you also underestimate my resolve.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and certainly not your so-called reality. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedahara clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make...
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his...
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshuka.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Amenoma Yuya from your control.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. If we don't do that, the Cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should...
But
even if things take a turn for the worse, we have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wished now.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only it's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will.
What should we do next? Have you got a plan, Kazuha?
We'll find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real... If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, if he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the adventure. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin.
All right.
What about Amenoma Yuya?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness yet, he is not in...
Are we sure this is a good idea? Okay, fine.
Alright. So we're gonna fight some enemies.
Time to go.
My stamina recover. Dang, over 90?
Leave everything on this journey to me.
Oh, I only use Kazuha.
Dang. One with nature. Finally. Into the wind. Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, let's keep going.
Time to go. Let's get down to business.
The wind knows me.
As one with wind and cloud.
Finally,
The ferry. Let's get down to business.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Amanome?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still trying to achieve his goal.
Make sure you know treasure chests around here.
Time to go.
One with nature.
Cheap tricks.
The wind knows me. Into the wind. It's fine.
Damn.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night.
Where's that go? Where you at? Oh, there you go.
One with nature. The wind knows me.
I'm ready.
Ow.
As one with wind and cloud.
You win. This.
You okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight.
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
It's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it did at the start.
Perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking about? Huh? What? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk.
Huh.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I was the only one who truly understood you, and already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help this.
Don't worry. I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
Oh, Kazuha is such a beast.
One with nature.
Ow, ow.
There's more!
Into the wind. Time to go. The wind moves. Clouds high. The birds call.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, no one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a ray of hope for me.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor and without proper maintenance. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never...
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue.
Damn.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to see.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination you were destined never to reach. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. And yet there was no way. You have known this for a long time.
He gave me everything. My life. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy. How could I go back?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect on things. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. It was somewhere I've never been. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak, and his life near its end. A newly forged blade lay by his...
Wow.
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a devastating blow by the desertion of its best smiths. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith. That they would...
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were worked by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the curse.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. They hate this blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. Yes, time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleet. He seems to have calmed down, though.
When I look back at the past, I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the darkness. Slaughter numbed the mind. Over time, not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition...
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, but I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. So, may I ask you...
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too?
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you do, my physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be...
His attitude has grown. What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. Alas, after that, nor have I ever had the chance to... My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never... You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand.
Oh. And who would be the...
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. He must have plenty of reasons to both hate...
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has this...
I see. He used my body. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, if a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I do not wish to be a mere victim.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the terror.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your...
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
Oh, we're gonna do it on the beach.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down. Still, even if he's way past the point of redemption, it's hard not to feel a teensy bit. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. All right. Successor of Ishin art, Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art, Amenoma Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
One with nature. That hurts.
That hurt.
The wind knows me. Into the wind.
There you go.
One with nature.
As one with wind and cloud.
The wind knows me.
Time to go.
Man, if he don't stop going out of the way.
Into the wind.
Thank you for the experience, although he appears battered and broken. In your hands, it seems he's regained his sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away.
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your... It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and not let them stain the legacy of Ishin art. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor, and I beseech you, please understand this.
Yes. I too trust Mr. Kaedehara to do the right thing.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go there for?
I'm not sure, but I think that all this is about to come to an end.
He wants to get remade. Oh, hold on, I gotta get this right quick. Oh, it's too low.
There's no escape.
Oh, come on, are you serious?
Shine down.
It's Yuya!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was...
A prized Ishin blade. Turned weapon that can... Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm, but I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the Bantan Sango Detective Agency...
Really?
Yes. Badly wounded, and now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending...
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the...
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way!
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that I have decided...
Guess there's nothing we can say to change your...
Thank you. I will explain my reasons later. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please, stay true to your promise.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the bladesmith's wish.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It was the first time I ever heard his... It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions. And thus only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really, really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the path ahead. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me. Just as the sight of your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me after everything I've seen. Perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more. I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance.
Wait! Shouldn't we also go up?
Oh, you're right. And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made.
Hang on, we still gotta do it. Kazuha quit long as hell. That cutscene was dope though. I like that cutscene.
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was the Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanome Yuya should conclude soon.
Wow, you sure kept your...
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. A weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will... And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
The Kaedehara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya.
You misunderstand. That was most
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well. I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the shogunate's assistance, please...
Great. Thank you for your general...
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
That's why I like Kazuha, one of my favorite characters. His story was pretty good, the first part of it at least. Actually looking forward to his next part, as they usually have like super big boss battle. Oh, they do give us that sword! Awesome! Let's see what that thing's attacking stuff is. I wonder if it's as strong as the one I got. I think the sword I got now is probably still stronger. Yeah, it does attack percentage. I kind of thought so. But you know what? This will probably be a very good sword for not. What is the one? The one that I gave him induces critical rate, doesn't it? One of them can get this sword. Either Ayaka or Ayato can get this sword. I'll probably give it to Ayaka. Yeah, I'll probably give it to Ayaka. How you supposed to refine the sword again, though? That's the thing I'm trying to trip out. When a normal attack, normal charge, or plunge attack hits the opponent, it will whip up a hue and gale. Yeah, the same thing you was doing when we were playing with. Okay, that's neat. Alright, so let's also, without further ado, let's make some more wishes. These are probably going to be my last wishes on this banner, to be honest with you. So we're going to do some wishes on that. And we're going to see what happens, man. I don't know if we actually get anything. I got a couple of Genesis crystals. So we're going to use those, and then plus we got 60 whatchamacallit. I'm not going to do a 10 pull. We're just going to do single pulls. And let's see if we get anything. Alright, which one? Nothing. I mean, we want another Kazuha. We want another Kazuha. Come on, give me a 5-star. Come on, game. Don't do me wrong. Don't do me wrong. Okay, it's a purple star. And they have yet to give me another. Bro, this game be faking, man. They have yet to give me another of the purple star new character. I've only got one of him, so I'm gonna have to just deal with that. Come on, 5-star, 5-star. How many more wishes I got left? We got a couple. All right, come on, Kazuha, Kazuha. Kazuha. Yeah, we're probably not gonna get him. We're probably not gonna get him. Shit, man. Yeah. Damn it. And that was it, you guys. That was it. Oh wait, I got one more. I got one more wish. And I also getting some I got some star glitter, and these things come back tonight too. So I'll use those too and see if I end up getting Kazuha. But, this is the last wish. Usually, I get lucky on the last wish. So, let's go. Damn! Man, I wish, who was the next banner? Who they said it was gonna be? It was, it's Yoimiya, ain't it? Yeah, Yoimiya is gonna be next. So, well, that was it. Didn't get lucky at all. I didn't even get a character on that shit. Ugh. But that is it for Kazuha's story, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is it for today, and I hope you guys had a great weekend. I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.